I think maybe one of the most important rules about looking at films that I can think of is that you should never blink. Yeah, that you should really keep your eyes straight on the film and never miss anything. Because if you blink or close your eyes or turn around, I always think it's comparable to skipping several pages of a book.
A key lesson learned when observing the intersection of graphic design, pedagogy, and meditation is to not blink. To not blink is to deeply observe. To not blink is to be present in this moment, to be present in every moment.
So when we walk, and if we are aware of every step, and that is called mindfulness of walking. When we breathe in, and if we focus our attention on our in-breath, and do not think of anything else, that is mindfulness of breathing. Mindfulness is always mindfulness of something, in something.
If we are aware of every step in the design process, that is called mindfulness of designing. Starting with awareness of one's context to aid in the crafting of messages for a certain time, in a certain place, for a certain audience, to build the grids we choose and walk on every day. Design process is about interrogation, exploration, quick exercises to build heat, to build resilience.
If there's one thing I can say is make till you can't make anymore. I thought that's ridiculous. Why am I not just focusing on one thing and making it good? Bullshit. Everything they say about make a million things is as accurate as can be. You can't do yoga without so many hours of teaching practice. You know, we do mantras in Buddhism and they talk about 100,000, they talk about 1,000,000. I mean, they don't talk about 10.
This part of the process is filled with constant iterations. Remembering, forgetting, remembering. All of this ultimately crafting the confidence in a designer's way of making. An activity that only creates heat cannot sustain.
Constant thinking about our experiences, coding our experiences into words, into signs, into the symbols of thought, is a buzz that goes on day in and day out inside our heads except when we're sleeping. And as a result of that, we begin to live in a world increasingly divorced from reality.
To connect back with reality, the designer must embrace the pause. Refinement's slower movements wash over so the practice can sustain. So the outcome keeps the audience engaged in the mental stretch. So they listen and absorb.
None of this stuff is really about morality or religion or dogma or big fancy questions of life after death. The capital T truth is about life before death. It is about the real value of a real education, which has almost nothing to do with knowledge and everything to do with simple awareness. Awareness of what is so real and essential, so hidden in plain sight all around us all the time, that we have to keep reminding ourselves over and over, this is water. This is water.
With awareness, keep visual messages evolving. This is the design process, one which is about the ideas we breathe life into, the words we speak, the patterns we perpetuate, the type of communication we choose.
The naming of the world, which is an act of creation and recreation, is not possible if it is not infused with love.
Naming without blinking as I make and pause. This rhythm is infused with unconditional love. Spinning and spinning, the design turns into a tornado, landing at a point, gently brushing my hands against the message. Feels like I am one, and then the project is done.